this equation, what I've done is I've given us the general equation that we're going to be using. And I go into the question and see what they actually give us. So it says Brad has a government bond that will be worth $20,876.96 in 5 years. So this is a future amount. So that's the amount that I'm going to have later on. So that's going to be this amount here because it's a future amount. So that's 20. And sorry, this is a little bit sloppy because I'm using my mouse at the moment. All right, and then the bond has an interest rate of 7% that is compounded semi-annually. Okay, so my rate is 7, so that's 7%. So I know then my I per compounding period is going to be decimal 0.07. Now I'm compounding semi-annually, so that's 2 times a year, so I'm going to divide by 2. And you can actually do that if you want. 0.0. I personally, I don't do that. I let my calculator do that. And then it says determine the present value of the bond. So, well, it looks like on present value, present is the same thing as principal. I don't know how much money I've invested, but let's go back and find N. My N is, it's going to be worth that in 5 years, but every year they're compounding semi-annually, so that's going to be multiplied by 2, which is 10. So what we're doing is we put all that information into the equation. And actually I'm going to switch to typing it because I think it would be faster and maybe a little bit easier to read. So that would be 26.86, and that will equal a present value, which I don't know what that is. And I'd have 1.035 and 35, and it would be to the power of 10. And unfortunately, it's really hard to get an exponent using this program to the 10. So I need to isolate p here. A few different ways. Why is p not by itself? Well, it's being multiplied by this. So what do? I divide both sides by this. So that's really the easiest way to solve for it. So I literally am going to divide by, and I'm just going to snip because I'm not going to say I'm lazy, but it's just a little bit faster. I'm going to divide that on that side, and I'm going to divide that on that side, and when we do that, we end up with p by itself, and that will give us our answer. Okay, so hopefully that helps. The only time the technology would really help is if I'm finding the time value here. So if I'm finding n. So for instance, question number 2, you're finding the n value. So I would still fill in everything, but then I could use Desmos to calculate my time period for that. Hopefully it helps.